BTS news today. The world sees Jungkook and Jimin as two glowing stars, shining side by side on the grandest stages of music history. To millions, they are idols, unstoppable, fearless, and flawless. But behind every performance, behind every laughter captured by cameras, behind every synchronized step that makes fans scream in excitement, there lies a story that only a few truly understand. It begins not with applause, but with silence. The kind of silence that follows harsh whispers. The kind of silence that hides bruises no one can see. The kind of silence only one person noticed. Jungkook. As the youngest member, Jungkook was always observed, watched as he grew from a shy boy into an icon. But Jungkook wasn't looking at cameras or critics. He was looking at someone else. He was watching Jimin. From the moment they met, there was something fragile behind Jimin's smile. Something Jungkook instinctively wanted to protect. It wasn't pity. It wasn't obligation. It was connection. Connection that only deepened when the world started testing them in ways no teenagers should endure. They trained together. They failed together. They got back up together. And slowly, Jungkook's protectiveness turned into something unshakable. Yet as fame grew, the threats grew bigger. Jimin had always been soft-spoken, tender, sensitive to every word thrown his way. He poured himself into perfection. Every mistake felt like a scar. Every criticism felt like a wound. It didn't help that the world loved to nitpick him. From his body to his voice, to whether he deserved to stand among legends. Jungkook saw every hateful comment Jimin pretended not to read. He saw the shaking hands Jimin hid in his pockets before performances. He saw the nights when the lights turned off, and Jimin whispered to himself, "Am I enough?" Those weren't moments meant for the spotlight. Those were moments meant for someone who cared enough to stay awake. And Jungkook stayed. The night everything changed, it was after a major award show. The cheers were still echoing in their ears, makeup smudged from sweat and smiles. They had won something monumental, a trophy meant to prove they made it. But back in the dressing room, when everyone else left, Jungkook returned to grab a forgotten water bottle and heard a small, broken sound that he found Jimin alone in the corner. His shoulders were shaking. Tears were falling. Not from joy that a phone lay on the floor near him, screen bright with vicious words from fans who decided Jimin didn't deserve the spotlight that night. They said he was the weak link, that he couldn't sing live, that he was only noticed because others lifted him up. Jungkook saw everything. He didn't say a word at first. He just stepped forward and wrapped his arms around Jimin, tight enough to stop him from falling apart any further. Jimin tried to hide his face, tried to pretend it wasn't a big deal, but Jungkook whispered, "Don't listen to them. I'm here." From that night forward, something shifted. Jungkook wasn't just a teammate. He wasn't just a friend. He became Jimin's shield. A different kind of danger. Fame is dazzling, but it comes with shadows. Sasaengs began stalking BTS relentlessly. Threats slipped into their schedules. Rumors spread faster than truth. And sometimes, those threats had names. Jimin, with his gentle nature, always tried to handle harassment quietly. He believed ignoring it was enough to make it disappear. But Jungkook heard too much. That he saw the private messages that crossed the line. He saw the photos taken without consent. He saw how safety became fragile. During global tours, Jimin became a target, especially when crowds grew chaotic. There were many nights when security had to intervene, and many more nights where Jungkook intervened before anyone else could. Whether it was shielding Jimin from a pushy camera operator, positioning himself between Jimin and an aggressive fan, or subtly pulling him closer in large crowds. People assumed it was just affection. They didn't know it was protection. There was a day at an airport, one of the busiest in the world. Cameras flashed violently, fans screamed, and barriers broke. Jimin stumbled when someone reached out to grab his arm. It was Jungkook who caught him, not gently, not casually, but with urgency in his eyes. He held Jimin upright. The world captured the moment. Fans turned the photo into wallpapers. Articles called it cute, sweet, brotherly love. They didn't know about the fan who later got escorted out. After sending a disturbing threat targeting Jimin specifically, Jungkook knew that he always knew. Behind the scenes, holding on what people see on camera is only a fraction of reality. Every time Jimin looks slightly tired during a rehearsal, Jungkook is there adjusting the choreography pace. Every time Jimin walks aside with his phone, Jungkook checks in with a glance. Every time Jimin bows too deeply in apology for the smallest mistake, Jungkook pulls him back up. It's subtle, but constant. There's a famous clip from practice footage. Jimin seems lost in thought, sitting on the floor. Jungkook walks over, tosses a towel gently onto him, and sits close enough for their shoulders to touch. Fans loved the moment because it was cute. But the truth? Jimin had received a hate-filled message minutes before that clip. Jungkook saw the change in his energy instantly. He didn't ask what happened. He didn't push. He simply stayed, close enough to remind Jimin he wasn't alone. Sometimes protection isn't loud. Sometimes it's just presence. When silence speaks louder even during interviews, Jungkook watches the room carefully. Who's asking questions? How Jimin reacts? Whether Jimin's smile reaches his eyes. There was an infamous press session years ago where a reporter asked Jimin a harsh, unnecessary question about his weight. Jungkook leaned forward, eyes sharp, expression cold. The reporter didn't finish the sentence. Fans thought Jungkook's stare was a meme-worthy moment. But those who understood human emotion saw something else. That was warning, a silent promise. If you hurt him, you answer to me. But why Jimin? There are 6 other members Jungkook loves deeply. 6 brothers he'd protect with his life. Why does his protectiveness seem strongest around Jimin? There are 3 reasons Jungkook would never admit out loud. 1. Jimin gives too much of himself. He pushes through pain, hides struggles, and sacrifices rest for perfection. 2. Jimin blames himself for everything, even for things far beyond his control. 3. Jimin hides sorrow behind the brightest smiles, and Jungkook sees every crack. Sometimes the brightest stars burn the fastest. Jungkook knew it. He felt responsible to make sure Jimin kept shining, without burning out. Jimin once said in a concert speech, "Whenever I feel tired, Jungkook somehow always appears beside me." He said it like a joke, but it wasn't a joke to Jungkook. It was a mission he never asked for, but accepted wholeheartedly. The world watches, but Jungkook always sees. Fans adore Jimin. They cherish him. They protect him emotionally from afar. But there are limits only someone close can handle. Jungkook sees the moments that never become fan edits. The tremor in Jimin's voice before an important encore. The insecurity buried within a compliment. The pressure of living up to expectations he never set. Jungkook quietly memorized those signs when he stands close beside Jimin on stage, leaning protectively, guiding him through crowds, shielding him from flashes. He isn't overreacting, he's acting on instinct, an instinct sharpened by years of seeing Jimin hurt in silence. A protector born from love and reality. There is a popular clip from a concert where Jimin nearly slips during a high-energy performance. Jungkook grabs him instantly, wrapping his arm around him, holding him steady. Fans cheered, but Jungkook's face, eyes wide, teeth gritted, showed fear, not fear of a mistake. Fear of losing someone precious. Because to Jungkook, Jimin isn't just a bandmate. He is someone who once saved Jungkook too. Emotionally, mentally, quietly. But that part of the story comes later. For now, we know this. Jungkook's protectiveness is not random. It is earned. It is needed. It is deep.